What is the primary pigment responsible for absorbing light energy in photosynthesis? A. Chlorophyll A. B. Chlorophyll B. C. Carotenoids. D. Xanthophyls. The correct answer is A. Chlorophyll A is the primary pigment in plants that absorbs light energy for photosynthesis. During which stage of photosynthesis does carbon fixation occur? A. Light reactions. B. Calvin cycle. C. Dark reactions. D. Electron transport chain. The correct answer is B. Carbon fixation occurs during the Calvin cycle in the chloroplasts of plants. Which of the following molecules is not produced during the light reactions of photosynthesis? A. Oxygen. B. ATP. C. NADPH. D. Glucose. The correct answer is D. Glucose is not produced during the light reactions of photosynthesis. It is a product of the Calvin cycle. Where in the chloroplast do the light reactions of photosynthesis take place? A. Stroma. B. Thylakoid membrane. C. Calvin cycle. D. Granum. The correct answer is B. The light reactions of photosynthesis take place in the thylakoid membranes of the chloroplasts. What is the primary function of the Calvin cycle in photosynthesis? A. Absorb light energy. B. Produce ATP. C. Fix carbon dioxide. D. Generate oxygen. The correct answer is C. The primary function of the Calvin cycle is to fix carbon dioxide and produce glucose for the plant. In which phase of photosynthesis is water split to release oxygen and provide electrons for the electron transport chain? A. Calvin cycle. B. Light reactions. C. Dark reactions. D. Carbon fixation. The correct answer is B. Water is split during the light reactions of photosynthesis to release oxygen and provide electrons for the electron transport chain. Which enzyme is responsible for fixing carbon dioxide during the Calvin cycle? A. Rubusco. B. ATP synthase. C. NADP reductase. D. Pigment complex. The correct answer is A. Rubusco is the enzyme responsible for fixing carbon dioxide in the Calvin cycle. What is the final product of the Calvin cycle in photosynthesis? A. Water. B. Oxygen. C. Glucose. D. ATP. The correct answer is C. The final product of the Calvin cycle is glucose, a sugar molecule used by the plant for energy. Which of the following is not a requirement for photosynthesis? A. Light. B. Carbon dioxide. C. Water. D. Oxygen. The correct answer is D. Oxygen is not a requirement for photosynthesis. It is a byproduct of the process. What is the end product of the Calvin cycle in photosynthesis? A. Glucose. B. ATP. C. NADPH. D. Rubusco. The correct answer is A. The Calvin cycle produces glucose, a form of stored energy. What is the role of NADPH in photosynthesis? A. Absorbing light energy. B. Providing electrons for the electron transport chain. C. Carrying high-energy electrons to the Calvin cycle. D. Splitting water molecules. The correct answer is C. NADPH is a molecule that carries high-energy electrons from the light reactions to the Calvin cycle, where they are used to convert carbon dioxide into glucose. During the light reactions of photosynthesis, what molecule is split to release oxygen and provide electrons for the electron transport chain? A. Carbon dioxide. B. Glucose. C. Water. D. NADPH. The correct answer is C. Water molecules are split during the light reactions to release oxygen and provide electrons for the electron transport chain. Where does the Calvin cycle take place in the plant cell? A. Thylakoid membrane. B. Stroma. C. Granum. D. Chlorophyll. The correct answer is B. The Calvin cycle takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast. What is the primary purpose of the light reactions in photosynthesis? A. Produce glucose. B. Absorb carbon dioxide. C. Generate ATP and NADPH. D. Release oxygen. The correct answer is C. The primary purpose of the light reactions is to generate ATP and NADPH. These are then used in the Calvin cycle to convert carbon dioxide into glucose. Which enzyme converts carbon dioxide into an organic molecule during the Calvin cycle? A. ATP synthase. B. Rubisco. C. NAD dehydrogenase. D. Cytochrome C oxidase. The correct answer is B. Rubisco is the enzyme responsible for fixing carbon dioxide during the Calvin cycle. What is the function of ATP in photosynthesis? A. To absorb light energy. B. To provide electrons for the electron transport chain. C. To convert carbon dioxide into glucose. D. To provide energy for cellular processes. The correct answer is D. ATP is used to provide energy for cellular processes, including the reactions that take place during photosynthesis. What is the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis? A. To release oxygen. B. To convert light energy into chemical energy. C. To absorb carbon dioxide. D. To fix carbon dioxide during the Calvin cycle. The correct answer is B. Chlorophyll is a pigment that absorbs light energy and converts it into chemical energy during photosynthesis. Which phase of photosynthesis directly requires light as an energy source? A. Calvin cycle. B. Carbon fixation. C. Reduction. D. Light reactions. The correct answer is D. The light reactions of photosynthesis directly require light as an energy source to convert light energy into chemical energy in the form of ATP and NADPH. What is the purpose of the electron transport chain in photosynthesis? A. To split water molecules. B. To produce ATP and NADPH. C. To fix carbon dioxide. D. To release oxygen. The correct answer is B. The electron transport chain produces ATP and NADPH. These are used in the Calvin cycle to convert carbon dioxide into glucose. What is the main function of the light reactions in photosynthesis? A. Capture. B. Produce ATP. C. Synthesize glucose. D. Fix carbon. The correct answer is B. The main function of the light reactions is to produce ATP, which serves as an energy source for the Calvin cycle. Where does the dark reaction of photosynthesis occur? A. Stroma. B. Thylakoid membrane. C. Granum. D. Cytoplasm. The correct answer is A. The dark reaction, or Calvin cycle, occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. What is the primary source of electrons for the electron transport chain in photosynthesis? A. Carbon dioxide. B. Oxygen. C. Water. D. Glucose. The correct answer is C. Water is the primary source of electrons for the electron transport chain in photosynthesis. What is the initial product of the Calvin cycle in photosynthesis? A. Glucose. B. ATP. C. NADPH. D. 3-phosphoglycerate. The correct answer is D. The initial product of the Calvin cycle is 3-phosphoglycerate. Which enzyme is crucial for converting ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate or RUBP during the Calvin cycle? A. Rubusco. B. ATP synthase. C. NADPH reductase. D. Photosystem 2. The correct answer is A. Rubusco is the enzyme responsible for converting RUBP in the Calvin cycle. What is the purpose of the Calvin cycle in photosynthesis? A. Capture light energy. B. Produce ATP. C. Convert into glucose. D. Generate oxygen. The correct answer is C. The Calvin cycle converts carbon dioxide into glucose and other carbohydrates during photosynthesis. What molecule do plants use to capture light energy during photosynthesis? A. Chlorophyll. B. Carotenoids. C. Xanthophyls. D. Phycobilins. The correct answer is A. Chlorophyll is the primary pigment responsible for absorbing light energy in photosynthesis. Where does the light reaction of photosynthesis take place in the chloroplast? A. Thylakoid membrane. B. Stroma. C. Golgi apparatus. D. Nucleus. The correct answer is A. Light reactions occur on the thylakoid membrane of the chloroplast. What is the main function of the dark reaction in photosynthesis? A. Carbon fixation. B. ATP production. C. Oxygen release. D. Electron transport. The correct answer is A. The dark reaction, also known as the Calvin cycle, is responsible for carbon fixation. Which molecule is directly involved in carbon fixation during the Calvin cycle? A. Rubusco. B. ATP. C. NADPH. D. Oxygen. The correct answer is A. Rubusco enzyme is responsible for fixing carbon dioxide during the Calvin cycle. What is the role of NADPH in the Calvin cycle of photosynthesis? A. Provides reducing power. B. Splits water molecules. C. Produces ATP. D. Captures light energy. The correct answer is A. NADPH provides reducing power for the Calvin cycle reactions. Where does the Calvin cycle take place in the chloroplast? A. Stroma. B. Thylakoid membrane. C. Outer membrane. D. Inner membrane. The correct answer is A. The Calvin cycle occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. What is the primary function of ATP in the Calvin cycle of photosynthesis? A. Provides energy for reactions. B. Fixes carbon dioxide. C. Donates electrons. D. Produces oxygen. The correct answer is A. ATP provides energy for the Calvin cycle reactions. What is the main purpose of the light reactions in photosynthesis? A. Generate ATP and NADPH. B. Fix carbon dioxide. C. Produce glucose. D. Release oxygen. The correct answer is A. The primary purpose of the light reactions is to generate ATP and NADPH for the Calvin cycle. Which molecule is not directly produced during the Calvin cycle of photosynthesis? A. Glucose. B. G3P. C. RUBP. D. RUBP. The correct answer is A. Glucose is not directly produced during the Calvin cycle reactions. What is the purpose of the light reactions in photosynthesis? A. Produce glucose. B. Capture light energy and convert it into chemical energy. C. Release oxygen. D. Fix carbon dioxide. The correct answer is B. During the light reactions of photosynthesis, light energy is captured by chlorophyll and other pigments. This energy is then converted into chemical energy in the form of ATP and NADPH. What is the main function of the dark reaction in photosynthesis? A. Produce oxygen. B. Convert light energy into chemical energy. C. Fix carbon dioxide into sugars. D. Generate ATP. The correct answer is C. The dark reaction, or Calvin cycle, of photosynthesis is responsible for fixing carbon dioxide into organic molecules, particularly sugars like glucose. Where does the Calvin cycle take place in the plant cell? A. Thylakoid membrane. B. Stroma of the chloroplast. C. Granum. D. Intermembrane space. The correct answer is B. The Calvin cycle takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast, where the enzymes and reactions involved in carbon fixation occur. What is the main product of the light reactions in photosynthesis? A. Carbon dioxide. B. Water. C. ATP and NADPH. D. Glucose. The correct answer is C. The main products of the light reactions in photosynthesis are ATP and NADPH. These are used to fuel the Calvin cycle and convert carbon dioxide into organic molecules. What is the role of NADP plus in the Calvin cycle of photosynthesis? A. To provide electrons for the electron transport chain. B. To transfer electrons to form NADPH. C. To fix carbon dioxide into organic molecules. D. To capture light energy. The correct answer is B. NADP plus plays a crucial role in the Calvin cycle by accepting electrons and forming NADPH. NADPH is then used as a reducing agent in the conversion of carbon dioxide into sugars. What is the function of ATP in the Calvin cycle of photosynthesis? A. To release oxygen. B. To provide electrons for carbon fixation. C. To transfer energy for chemical reactions. D. To capture light energy. The correct answer is C. ATP generated during the light reactions is used in the Calvin cycle to transfer energy for the chemical reactions that convert carbon dioxide into sugars. Which molecule is not directly involved in carbon fixation during the Calvin cycle? A. Carbon dioxide. B. Rubusco. C. RUBP. D. Glucose. The correct answer is D. Glucose is a product of the Calvin cycle, and not directly involved in carbon fixation. That's the process of converting carbon dioxide into organic molecules. What is the primary source of electrons for the electron transport chain in photosynthesis? A. Water. B. Oxygen. C. ATP. D. Carbon dioxide. The correct answer is A. Water is split during the light reactions of photosynthesis to release electrons. These electrons then travel through the electron transport chain to generate ATP and NADPH. What is the enzyme responsible for splitting water molecules during the light reactions of photosynthesis? A. Rubusco. B. ATP synthase. C. NADPH reductase. D. Photosystem 2. The correct answer is D. Photosystem 2 is the enzyme responsible for splitting water molecules during the light reactions of photosynthesis, releasing oxygen and providing electrons for the electron transport chain. What is the primary molecule produced during the light reactions of photosynthesis that carries energy to the Calvin cycle? A. Carbon dioxide. B. NADPH. C. RUBP. D. Glucose. The correct answer is B. NADPH is the primary molecule produced during the light reactions of photosynthesis that carries energy to the Calvin cycle for carbon fixation. What is the function of NADP plus in the light reactions of photosynthesis? A. To store energy in the form of ATP. B. To release oxygen during water splitting. C. To carry high-energy electrons to the Calvin cycle. D. To fix carbon dioxide into organic molecules. The correct answer is C. NADP plus functions to carry high-energy electrons from the light reactions to the Calvin cycle, where they're used to reduce carbon dioxide and produce sugars. Where in the chloroplast does the Calvin cycle occur? A. Thylakoid membrane. B. Stroma. C. Granum. D. Outer membrane. The correct answer is B. The Calvin cycle takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast, where enzymes catalyze the fixation of carbon dioxide and the production of sugars. What is the role of ATP in the Calvin cycle of photosynthesis? A. To split water molecules during the light reactions. B. To carry high-energy electrons to the Calvin cycle. C. To fix carbon dioxide into organic molecules. D. To provide energy for chemical reactions in the Calvin cycle. The correct answer is D. ATP, produced during the light reactions, provides energy for chemical reactions in the Calvin cycle. These reactions include carbon dioxide fixation and carbohydrate production. Which molecule is not directly involved in the Calvin cycle of photosynthesis? A. RUBP. B. Glucose. C. ATP. D. NADPH. The correct answer is B. Glucose is not directly involved in the Calvin cycle. It's a carbohydrate product synthesized using the energy and molecules generated by the cycle.